Very good morning, everyone. This is Manoj here at Event Bank, a senior sales manager. We are glad to have you here with us today as we present Bringing Your Communities Closer, how digital transformation can bring us all together panel discussion, right? So before we get started, a quick snippet of how our community and webinar engagement solution is making noise across the globe, right? So just give me a minute while I quickly share the presentation. So Event Bank is all about transforming professional communities. So we started off in 2013 as pioneers. We are currently leaders right now, being one of the top 7 solutions across the globe. So we provide modules for the events for both offline and online events, which includes event management, sending bulk email campaigns, finance and payments, CRM, code-free website. You need not to be a coder to create a website with a platform, task management, mobile apps, which supports iOS and Android version. Along with it, we provide you different kind of reports and analytics. So in other words, Event Bank is a one-stop shop solution. If you have Event Bank, you have everything. So this is a place where you engage and exchange knowledge. If you're innovative, we have a platform where you could actually share your ideas through our unlimited comments and discussions session, through our community, which is a live feed, and you can also social share and make announcements as well. So you can spark discussions by creating private and public groups. It could be for your organization or probably for your members or attendees. It could be CEO's discussion or any upcoming discussions. You can exchange emojis. You can actually, whatever features you have in WhatsApp, we almost have it. So, right? So best thing here is you can also exchange business card electronically. We understand social distance is a new normal. So keeping that in mind, you can exchange business cards electronically, and we have business card scanner as well, and which is available on all devices with all privacy settings enabled. So we're helping people to talk through our platform. You can have one-on-one chat, media sharing, gifts and emojis can be exchanged, and locations also can be shared in case if your member or attendee is stuck appearing for an event. So here's the look and feel of how our webinar engagement solution, this is a next generation webinar solution, which is making a lot of noise in the world. And as you could see here, you would have participants, you get a premium exposure towards your partners and sponsors, speakers information, agenda, you can upload documents, event room, where they can ask questions to the panelists and the participant list lastly. So we are growing and we're currently working with 1,000 odd companies and we are present in 52 countries. So we have offices across the globe. So having said that, I'm going to quickly, introduce our panelists and we could get started. All right, so quick intro about our company. As you know, the world has changed this 2020, and while organizations could do without a technology, before the whole COVID-19 pandemic, technology is evolving, so is Eventbank. And digitalization are a must-do that no organization can afford to ignore. Professional communities around the globe are struggling on how to provide value to their communities in this time of social distancing. Now more than ever, it is imperative that our members and attendees of a community can come together, connect, and engage to help one another. Today, we will hear from some of our India's highly regarded leaders on how a digital transformation can enable your community to thrive and be future ready. So here we go. Without further ado, let's meet the panel. Sri Rajesh Agarwal. He is the Executive Director of India Trade Promotion Organization. So next we have Priya Smita Guha, who's the Director of Digital Lenders Association of India. Welcome, Priya. Welcome, Rajesh. So the next panelist is Manish Kothari, who's the founder and managing director of ISBR Business School. Welcome, Manish. Glad to have you guys on board. So we also have Chandrakant Salunke, who's the president and SME Chamber of India. Welcome, Chandrakant. Lastly, we have Kenny Holroyd, who is the Senior Sales Director for Eventbank, who's making a lot of noise in the APAC region. So welcome to all our panelists. So Kenny, it's all yours. Please take over.
Thank you, Manoj, for the introduction. Greatly appreciated. And thank you to our esteemed panelists who are joining us this morning, and also to everyone that is tuning in across the region to today's webinar, which is going to be looking at how digital transformation can bring us all together. So before we dive straight in, I'd just like each of our panelists just to give a quick introduction into who they are, the roles that they're currently doing, and whereabouts they are in India, and then we can go straight in from there. So let's start off with Manish.
Hi everyone, I'm audible. Yeah, so I'm Manish Kothari. I'm the managing director of ISBR Business School. I'm from Bangalore, and yes, we are running a business school with about 3,000. We have membership of about 1,000 numbers, which we manage at our business school. So wish you all a safe day.
Thank you, Manish. Priya?
Hi, so I'm Priya Smita Guha. I lead the Digital Lenders Association of India, which is the trade body for all digital lenders. We have about nearly 100 members right now, and I look after the operation, the sales, the marketing, the overall business.
Thank you, Priya. Chandrakant? You're on mute, Chandrakant. You need to unmute.
Yeah. I am representing SME Chamber of India, SME Expert Promotion Council, and SME Business Management Institute, which is very, very important organization working for the SME sector, particularly providing support for the business growth, export promotion, and international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, Rajesh.
You too.
You need to unmute yourself, Rajesh.
Hi, I'm Rajesh Agrawal. I am the Executive Director for India Trade Promotion Organization. This is the apex government body to promote trade between countries using trade shows and exhibitions as the key platform. We own one of the most biggest venue in the country at Delhi, and we indirectly participate in approximately 150 trade shows over a year. I look forward to listening from all of you over next 1 hour. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's dive straight into it. So Priya, we'll kick off with you. I mean, from what impact has the pandemic had on your association right now?
Actually, to be very honest, our impact has been much lesser compared to the others. As a matter of fact, we've grown during this period. One reason could be that the promptness with which we reached out to the community with solutions, whether it was on moratorium, about collections, with one-on-one calls, etc. So our impact, except maybe 1 or 2 members who obviously could not afford to continue or stop their India business completely, we've not had a major impact. So our business, we actually had preempted, and we actually thought, when our business planning, we actually thought we would have a major impact. But it turned out that it was just the opposite. A need for a body like ours became very important during this period, so that, because there were, things that needed to be done as an industry body, and which we sort of did very promptly, that's why our impact has been so far, touch wood, being very less.
Super. Thank you for that insight. Manish?
Hi. So in our case, it's a different story. Our complete events were offline. Everything that we did was networking events, and all our members used to meet throughout the year on various platforms. They used to network, they used to support each other, they used to exchange data. So our complete work that used to happen was on offline meetings. So we did get a big hit during this time because the advantage of our networking had stopped for quite some time. And the physical meeting of these people got also business to them. So yes, we had to change a lot, and we had to immediately jump to a digital medium, and that's what we did. So yes, the impact was massive. Members really felt the heat of not meeting each other. During this pandemic, what has been really learned is, even before the pandemic hits you, your mind hits you first. So if your mindset goes from positive to negative, is the first hit that you get. So when the members do not meet and the members do not exchange ideas, automatically their businesses and everything comes to a standstill. Also, the professional ideas keeps you active. So this had stopped during this time. And so we had to take a massive remodeling of our complete system from offline to online.
What's it been for you online in terms of obviously having to transform from an in-person event to sort of purely going digital? How's the uptake on that been for the association?
So you have asked me how did I move from offline to online, right?
Exactly, yeah, that's correct.
So point number 1 was we had to remodel our complete deliveries. That is what packaging we used to give to the members. We still had to see that their community is live and they keep networking, and the business ideas move from one group of people to another group of people, and they are still engaged. The communications is active between them, and plus we have events when they could meet. So what we did was we started evaluating many online platforms,
Right.
about a dozen of them, and we screened. They were from various countries across the globe, and then we studied each one of them. We spoke to them, and then we finally came to one of such platforms, and we started onboarding our members to this platform. And we also made it a point that all the events which were offline converts to an online event. We moved to many online education portals also, and we made it a point that whatever training was given to the members starts on an online platform. our membership fee collection never got a problem because of the credibility that we had with our members. So we are still 100% converting even during the pandemic
Right.
for the members to pay their fee. So this is how it has happened. And yeah, it took some time. Believe me, it took some time because the servicing staff also was not available during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So
I can
all as was a major shift, and but yes, we have gone digital, complete digital. As of now, when I'm talking to you, there's another event going on for our members.
Super. Interesting to hear. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And the same to Chandragrant. In terms of what impact has the pandemic had on the organization?
Looking at the, this pandemic impact on the SME sector is very large.
Right.
Particularly the companies, those are, functioning in the manufacturing industry. They stuck up very well in last two months, first March and April and May. But now slowly they are coming on the track. But usually, that as Manish said that, our SME owners now and the senior executives now converted their ideas onto digital platform. Because as Manish said, then credibility is most important. And the meeting one-to-one is the most important in the SME sector. But now people learn and entrepreneurs are learn to communicate through digital platform. And this is very interesting and very important. COVID has taught us to save your time and do a lot of work through your digital platform. So this is one. Second thing, very interesting thing, the SME sector, after the 2 months lockdown or 3 months lockdown in India, they understand what is a value addition, support to be required for the particular business growth, expansion, and diversification. So they learn many things, but they are struggling still. As you said, the theme, your business never stops. So SME business stops now, started slowly. Now look at the larger way. Let's hope the best. Thank you.
Thank you for that insight, Chandragrant. Appreciate it. Rajesh, what are your thoughts?
I tell you, one of the pandemic has impacted all sectors, but in my view, one of the biggest impact has been on the MICE sector. The basic premise where the MICE sector thrives on is physical.
Rajesh, sorry, we can't hear you.
I had unmuted. I think I got muted. Sorry. I think most of the sectors got impacted due to pandemic, but one of the biggest impact was in the MICE sector. The basic premise of MICE sector has been physical meeting. The USP of MICE sector has been that to bring people on a similar platform, on a common platform where they can trade, where they can discuss ideas, where they can discuss products, where they can trade with each other, where they can know each other. I think this whole ecosystem has got disrupted because of this pandemic. And like all organizations which are in this MICE sector, our organization has also got deeply impacted. And we find that for last 4-5 months, there has been no business, there's been no exhibition, no trade shows, no meetings, because we always thrived on bringing 50,000 people together. So pandemic actually has done away with that. But having said that, I think every challenge brings in its own opportunities. So it has given us the time, it's given us the entire sector the time to rethink ourselves and rethink and think, strategize how we need to be ready for tomorrow. Because these uncertain times has made us realize that the business may not remain as usual in future also. So one, we need to diversify. Two, we need to look at technological solutions to this business promotion also. How we can use virtual events or virtual exhibitions to also promote trade is something we are looking at seriously. A lot of the trade shows are now happening virtually. We have started increasingly engaging with our community on a more digital platforms, and we have realized over these last few months that though physical meetings, physical trade, and all this cannot take place, and they are also right now restricted because of a lot of other things happening across the world, which are beyond our control. It is much beyond pandemic. Every country looking at its own export-import regime, every country looking at its own way to become maybe Atmanirbhar. Every country now, the trade going down in every country, the economies looking down in every country has also impacted, say. But at the same time, this has opened up to ideas that even if these physical meetings, physical venues are not possible, technology is there where we can leverage and connect people. The idea of a organization like ours was to bringing in the buyers and the sellers together, the manufacturers and the buyers together, bringing them together and in removing the information asymmetry that prevailed in that market, so that they can both of them can get the best deal.
Yeah.
I think we are doing it technologically, and as we go along, I think more technological solutions will also enable us to meet the challenge that we are facing right now. And I think after this pandemic, after Corona is over, the world is not going to be the same, especially for us in the MICE sector. And I think we'll definitely see an increasing use of technology, IT platforms in our trade shows also. Even if we do have physical shows, we'll see more and more of technology is being used, because once we get used to it and once we find advantage of it, I think now I feel any trade show that we have in Delhi or in India, at least the foreign business buyers who are coming from abroad, there will be a drop of minimum 30 to 40%, because many of them will see value in connecting using these IT platforms and saving on travel costs and travel times and reaping the same dividends. So this is something which is going to happen, and I think the entire sector, the entire industry is under transformation, and we have good challenging, but I think good happening times ahead. Thank you.
Absolutely. And in your experience, I mean, do you see light at the end of the tunnel in terms of, organizations, not just, globally now are obviously, going more and more digital? How long, do you see the world getting back to normal, or even the industry getting back to normal, where we're going to be able to attend a conference or a trade show or an exhibition? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
See, as I told, I feel this Corona has been a huge disruption to our lives. This pandemic, and the world, to my mind, will not remain the same after this pandemic is over, whether it is this year or next year or year after that. You never know. These are uncertain times. You never know. But as I look at this MICE sector, I realize that the world transforming from physical world to a physical world has been a journey which has been happening for over last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
And to my mind, this whole digital transformation that has taken place across the world has been one of the biggest innovations or positive externality to this ecosystem over to the globe over last 2-3 decades. So this has brought a lot of goods to the society. Today, if you just think, if there was this pandemic, there was this lockdown kind of scenario across the world, we were locked down in our own homes, or we were locked down in different, in our own countries, in our own cities. And this digital transformation was not there. This digital technology was not there. I think we would have had a whole lost of different set of problems. This digital technology has enabled us sustain ourselves in these difficult times also. And it has enabled us to keep on connecting, rather realize that we are part of a global world where we can remain connected in spite of so much of restrictions on movement, lockdowns, city getting lockdowns, international migration getting completely closed, countries not using visas, international travel getting impacted. I think digital transformation actually made the difference. Now every sector is now realizing, including our sector is realizing, that as soon as it gets over, though things may start getting back to normal, we have to re-strategize and reposition ourselves, where we have to also behave more in physical manner rather than just being physical. Because if we are not in sync with time and we are not complete physical, probably the impact of any uncertainty that we face in future will be much more. As regards pandemic, I think this is uncertain, but we have seen pandemics, we have heard of pandemics in the past, which has gone up for more than a year. We are also hearing of first phase of Corona, second phase of COVID. So we have to be optimistic, keep our options alive and see how it unfolds. I see in our MICE sector, we believe it will take at least 1 year to 1.5 years from now, wherein we can start dreaming of a normal trade show as we used to have in past. We might have small successes here and there, but normal things maybe 2022 onwards.
Interesting. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for that insight. I appreciate it. Chandrakaran, could I ask, so what are the biggest challenges that your community is dealing with during the COVID-19 pandemic?
See, particularly the supply chain management has disrupted very well. And, because of that, the supply is not properly. And the raw material availability is very difficult, particularly for the manufacturing industry. And the migrant labor from the various cities in India have gone to their own town, and they are not coming back because of the public transport is not on. And most importantly, a lot of SMEs have they have cancelled, their orders are cancelled. The export order are on the standstill. The most of the large corporate, they are not buying product from them. Inventory is whatever the less decided earlier, the order given, the inventory is less. So particularly another point is more importantly in India is that the supply chain also and the trade finance. Because of the finance, many SMEs are not going to survive in this competitive or in this COVID impact. Another very interesting thing now, Indian SMEs have decided not to buy a product from China. The government is also pushing for that. This is a very good opportunity for Indian SMEs to innovate, develop, research some good product, good quality product, and to start manufacturing India. Rather, we have, as other panelists said, my organization, SME Chamber of India, is bringing the interested SMEs together and providing support for the buying products from the various parts of India, various parts of the world, competitive cost, quality product, innovative product. Second thing, we are providing support for the identifying new partners, new business partners, buyers, importers. And third is most important, channelizing the funding, channelizing the finance, trade finance. This should be, usually the SMEs face a problem to get a finance. Another very interesting thing, we have taken up a lot of issues with the central government, the Indian government particularly, for providing the level playing field in India, providing the land, industrial land as a competitive cost, the connection for the electricity, the skilled manpower easily to be available for SME sector, the revival of the sick units, because a lot of the SMEs units are sick in India. And most importantly, trade finance, the trade receivables. In India, we face a lot of problem when the trade receivables are delayed. So therefore, a lot of SMEs become NPA. This is one. And another very interesting thing now we are doing, encouraging the young entrepreneurs, encouraging the youth, the entrepreneurship, so that the SME sector or the entrepreneurship can move ahead, and a lot of people start the businesses. But now the COVID-19 has taught a very good lesson to Indian SMEs, because Indian SMEs never thought about to keep the stock reserve in their factory, or to appoint people for particularly for the different type of work from the office, factory, or home. Okay, and now the SMEs adopted the digital platform. Earlier, a lot of SMEs are doing whatever the work doing from the office or from factory. Now they have to convert their ideas into practical way in a digital platform. So I think today's webinar will be very useful to understand how they can improve their business activity, for not only reaching for the local level but national and international.
Yeah, Chandra, can I ask, are the local government providing any grants or any support to SMEs to enable them to go digital, or is that still quite small?
No, local government is not providing anything, but Indian government is bringing out some digital platform, digital SME platform, and they are working on it. But mostly, there is a need of every SME is having the different need. Okay, so they require, sometimes they have 10 employees. Some SMEs are having 100 employees. Small companies are there, tiny companies are there, micro companies are there. Now, after the change of the definition, it is a very good opportunity for SMEs to showcase their skill and scale.
Absolutely.
And another very interesting thing now coming out in the SME sector, because of the change of the definition in India, according to the international perspective, it will be good for Indian SMEs to matchmaking with the foreign companies. And this will be good for creating the credibility amongst the investors, credibility among the buyers, strategic partnership for joint venture, technology transfer. And we do a lot of activities, particularly for the providing handholding for industrial park, ready-made industrial premises, because a lot of SMEs are now setting up new industries. A lot of SMEs are now changing their ideas of the business. And it's the right time to change the business idea, to adapt the new to business idea, and so that you can survive in this competitive era. So we are teaching art of surviving in this competitive era.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Priya, what are your thoughts in terms of the challenges that you're facing with COVID-19 within the community?
So we have had actually quite a bit, and as a matter of fact, SME sector has impacted us. So two of our biggest challenges right now is who do we lend to and the moratorium. The earlier credit rating mechanism has to change because, industry body, SME business is down, which is impacting us because 50% of our business, of our members actually lend to the SMEs. Now, as he was saying that if the SME sector is, going through its own churn, it's a difficult to know whom do we lend out to. Similarly, for people who are doing consumer lending, people have lost jobs, they've lost salary, so lending out is becoming a challenge. Moratorium is becoming a challenge. And the biggest challenge I think that we will face in coming future is NPAs, which will come out. Because what happens now is, today what we are facing is, the impact of the COVID-19 situation will actually come in much greater in the next coming 3 to 6 months, which is when the biggest challenge will come down as to how do we, handle NPAs, etc. once the moratorium, etc. is over. So I think these are the two big challenges that we are facing, and the sectors and the jobs not coming back will impact us majorly, because finally we have to lend people who have to give the money back to us, unless somebody's coming back. That's the biggest challenge. So it's so these are the two of the big challenges that the industry is facing. How do they pivot themselves? Also, how do they pivot? So for example, there are companies who used to work with let's say migrant laborers. Now if they've gone back, then they have to figure out a different industry that they need to lead to. If they were lending to, say, the spas, and if they are closed, or to restaurants, if they are closed, they have to figure out another industry where they need to lend to. So the challenges are, who do we pivot, who do we lend to, how do we get the money back once this entire situation is better, and also how do we pivot? So these are some of the biggest challenges, and the situation is such that any industry getting impacted finally impacts us. Because we, after all, give to either the job seekers or the the owners. So it impacts, every industry ends up impacting us. So the impact is quite large, but we've been resilient so far, I think.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Manish, your thoughts? You need to unmute.
So our community basically has business leaders and students to a great extent, including professors also. So I'll first talk about business leaders. To them, what has happened is the business losses has been very high during this term. And they are looking out for new markets. They are looking out how to reach various other segments, or what is the other space that they could operate in. That's the first thing that our community members are worried about. The second thing that I've seen them worried about is the mental stress of COVID. I also started the whole webinar by talking about it. It kills you later, but it kills your mind first. So that is what they would like to get out of. The fear that is set in their mind, either through the media channels or whatever, is far higher and large, and they would like to get out of it. The social networking, which was a positive part of their life, has suddenly come to a halt. And that's where they would like to get far more solutions from us. The updates of their industry, which were regularly available to them, is what is now not available to them. They would
Right.
like to get updates on what is happening now, what is the present situation, and how they see their industries move in the next direction. What are the other avenues that they could work on? They were working with China, and that has suddenly come to a stop. So how this is going to change? Which are the
Mhm.
other new markets that the government is going to open for them? The next challenge that the community members are seeing is employee management. Because of the COVID problem, almost all the employees have gone to their respective areas and their respective places. How do they get them back, or how do they make them work from that places? Is the next challenge that they're working on. Training of their staff is another important thing. Many of them have shifted to online, but then the training has not happened to the staff. So how can this training happen? How efficiently they could use the new systems to make things come back to normal is
Yeah.
another challenge that the team is working on. Coming to the students, so we had exchange programs for the students with countries like France and Germany. Now this has suddenly come to a halt. So how do we see that the student exchanges still happen, looking into the present problems that are going on? The last one that I would like to talk about is the job market. The job market has taken a beating by layoffs or by salary cuts. Now, how can this be addressed? About 800 plus members of ours being students, this is the question that they ask us almost every other day. Can we put them to other channels? Can we put them to can we have a different way of working wherein they interact with companies and take things forward? So these are a few challenges that our community are facing. And yes, we are working on the solutions for them. I'm sure today's platform also will open many such avenues to discuss about it.
Thank you very much indeed. Majid, I'd like to ask you, in terms of, how do you educate your member organizations to contribute to building their communities stronger, you think?
See, as I mentioned earlier also, the sector and all the organizations get deeply impacted. So one thing that we have tried to do over the last 3 months has been continuously engage with them and continuously engage with them and look at all the best practices that we are having in the sector across the world. So digital transformation makes this information flow so easy. So whatever is having maybe in Guangzhou in China or in Korea or in Germany also, we try to make available all inputs to the organizations and trying to help them reposition themselves. How they can think of having a trade show or a business meet or a buyer-seller meet in a present scenario. So getting them right technological solutions, getting them right experiments that are being conducted across the world, because every country is responding to this challenge in its own way. Getting that information to them and connecting with them has been one of our prime objective over the last 3 months, and we have been successful in doing that. We have also formed an India MICE Alliance, which I lead, wherein all the stakeholders of the MICE sector, whether it's travel industry, tourism industry, it's trade industry, it's the exhibition industry, they are all, or the service providers, everybody is a part of it. And the continuous engagement has let the spirits be around and people be, even people be positive about the whole thing. Because one of the challenges, I think, in any sector or any industry is that there is an impact that happens to the sector, but within the sector also, the impact varies depending on what is the strength of an organization and what is the resilience of that organization. In my sector also, there are certain organizations like ITPO who are resilient enough and who has got a history behind them of around 50 years. So they can withstand this challenge for another 2 years, 3 years without having much to worry and carry on things as they are. But there are organizations who are new on the block, who are just starting up, who are just emerging, who are like SME of our sector, MSME of our sector. They are deeply impacted because their liquidity getting impacted, their business plan getting completely disrupted. They are the ones who are finding it the most challenging, how to handle it. And that's why we try to continuously engage them and give them that hope. We also, as a venue, we also own one of the biggest exhibition venue in the country. And what we immediately did as soon as this pandemic spread and the India went under lockdown, we came out with a relief package for the entire sector. we announced a relief package for the entire sector wherein all the penalties, all the rescheduling, everything was given free of cost to all the organizers in the country.
Right.
We work with around 50 odd or third party exhibition organization at Pragati Maidan. We
Yeah.
allowed them a blanket 20% reduction in tariff, a blanket waiver of all penalties, a blanket waiver on all delayed payment, and a blanket freedom to reschedule or cancel their events over the years. This itself was a huge mental relief to all of them, because at one end you are struggling with the crisis to get back your event and carry on with the event as you planned. On the
Yeah.
second, you are not able to do it, but you have to suffer maximum damages. I think that is a double jeopardy for the individual or the organization. So we completely waved it off, and we tried to handhold them to see that it does not disrupt them and they keep the optimism alive. Third, I think we worked with the industry together and developed new protocols, standard operating protocols for this sector. And we have moved to the government also to allow us to come back to normal, to allow us to move, to differentiate the exhibitions or trade exhibitions as an organized gathering as compared to other mass gatherings. There are other mass gatherings which you cannot happen in a pandemic kind of scenario, but organized gatherings like a trade exhibition can happen in very sanitized, good protocol-based scenario where you can ensure that though social distancing, but at the same time conduct business. We have developed standard protocols and connected with the government to see going forward how we can expedite this and ensure that as far as the exhibition industry is concerned, India gets back to normal in next 2 to 3 months. I think that was important because that gave a lot of hope to the industry, and they are able to sustain in this difficult time. Even the employees, because what happens when the industry suffer, it has got a cascading effect on the society. As Manish was mentioning about how it is having impact on the students who are not finding the job market is down. They are passing out, graduating out, but the job market is down and they don't have anywhere to go. There's another challenge. People who are working, people who are in the companies, well settled, now are being laid off. If they are laid off, where to go? And we find hundreds of mails coming to us where people just are looking for some or other opportunity to sustain themselves. The idea was, in the MICE sector, we pleaded, don't lay off people. Keep your optimism alive. We'll come back live soon. Let us all try to bear a slight impact of, let us take salary cuts, let us go into austerity measures and try to absorb the impact of this pandemic individually also little, so that there's no major impact on any particular individual or a particular segment of individual. That also, I think, as an organization, we have taken for salary cut. We have frozen our dearness allowance or growth in salaries for next 1 year. And we have taken a lot of austerity measures to ensure that the organization also do not go down under. And that's what we have been preaching to our entire ecosystem, our entire community, that the pandemic has struck. It will impact the entire society. It will impact the entire country and the globe. Every sector is getting impacted. But if each one of us decide to take the impact in the proportion of our own strength in that sector, I think we have managed the day. So that has.
It's interesting also to see that you've implemented the.
I have a question for Rajesh.
Sure.
Rajesh ji, how you have planned for particular support to SME sector, since we are not going to be a practical or at the ground level events coming next 1 year. What is the promotional activities particularly you are doing sector wise for SME sector particularly, and how often the digital platform created or to be operated or will be starting, so that I can communicate SMEs. Rather, I am in touch with the Secretary of Commerce, Secretary MSME, and we are pursuing them to bring some digital platform where SME can afford to come on the board, because there are plenty of organizations come out with a digital platform. It is not affordable to SME sector now. So what is your plans and what is your message to SME sector, so that they can utilize and they can perform very good business for India?
The two things, I think I completely agree. The SME sector has been deeply impacted, and that is one of because they are at the most vulnerable stage. They are the ones who have been deeply impacted. So from exhibition industry point of view, there are two things that we are trying to do at ITP. One, we are trying to work with the MSME ministry to create a virtual platform where we can give some market access to SMEs, also to showcase their products and get them linked to the market. That is one area where we are working, and we feel that it will be a completely subsidized, funded event by the government where SME will not need to pay for it, but just be a part of it and benefit from it. Two, even looking forward in our trade shows, we have been requesting our administrative ministry to look into that how we can ensure that SMEs or MSME sector come back to the trade shows as a much more reasonable or subsidized rate. Because to bring back the exhibitors back to the trade shows, I think we cannot, we have to share some burden of their expenditure, because they didn't have liquidity, they didn't have market for now 6 months, and it will carry on for a few more months. So in case they need to come back to do trade, be a part of trade shows and develop their own trade, they will have to given some hand-holding support by way of reduced cost, reduced participation cost, or some other payoffs, so that they come back to these exhibitions, take benefit from it, get back to on their foot. Because if an industry grows back, it comes back to rails, it has got a huge positive externality for the society. It will create a lot of jobs, and it will have an impact for easing out the society in a big way. So I think it's a, if we actually want to get back to normal, we'll have to actually get into a mode wherein our industries get back to normal, our SME sector get back to normal, and our overall job scenario gets back to normal. Because until that happens, I think the country will never get back.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Priya, what are your thoughts?
See, as an industry body, like I said, we are deeply impacted at this stage. So one of the first things that happened way back in March, I think when the lockdown started in India, was we reached out one-on-one to most people, most of our members. Luckily, our membership base, our industry itself is a smaller base. So it was easier said than what others could do. And because of that, one of the things that we agreed on, and most people agreed on, that either we live together or we die together. Because as an industry, we have to help each other out. So that was one of the major things that actually started the entire programs that the DLAI started off. So we started having one-on-one meetings with people. We started getting them to talk to, senior members who could actually help them out in terms of chats. We started having online conversations. We created a WhatsApp group so that people could, because, even for us, networking was a big thing, which was absolutely off doing, we created focus group meets, because an entire 100 people networking session online was absolutely, it was a chaos which you couldn't handle. So what we started doing was we started picking up topics and we started doing focus group meets. We created different WhatsApp groups for different needs so that people could talk on certain specific topics and get more answers to that. We reached out to the government, to the regulatory bodies for the solutions that they needed, and we're still doing that, that this problem needs to be solved. And the only opportunity that we found here was that because of the pandemic and everything moving online, is that we could actually have a much more global outreach compared to a more local outreach that we were having. So suddenly we had people from Europe reaching out to us. We had people from the US reaching out to us. We had people from Singapore. And we are actually now, in the future, we are actually looking at how to connect them together, in terms of how could you learn as to what the Singaporean market has done, what the European market has done. So these are some of the things that have actually helped them, because unlike any other crisis that the industry has faced, any industry, not just ours, this is a global crisis. Every country is going through the same churn, the same impact. So how is each country actually realizing it is being a great learning experience. So what we starting doing now is we reached out to various industry bodies, spoke to them, etc. Is we are now trying to get all of them together and see if they could actually teach us, and they could actually learn. So, there could be focus group meets, there could be discussions which happen, which has actually helped us a lot. So these are some of the things that we have. And again, reaching out, like how do we, figuring out how do we evaluate customers going forward? How do we pivot? What I told you before. and things like that. So, there are various ways, and at the same time, reaching out to the government, reaching out to the regulatory body to help us with laws, etc., which would help the industry going forward, because that is an impact, that is something majorly needed. So that we've been doing it. We've been writing letters, meeting them, speaking to them as to how the industry could be helped out. So these are some of the things that we've been doing. And like I said, either we live together or we die together. Mm-hmm. So that is something that everybody has come together. Everybody has decided that they need to help the others as well. So the bigger ones are trying to help the other ones. Co-lending has become important in the industry, where people are joining in together to lend out, to help each other, etc. So I think these are some of the things that we've seen and we've been doing to help the industry.
Super, thank you. And Manish, I mean, how do you think digital transformation impacts professional communities today? You need to unmute.
Yeah, if you talk about different digital transformation, let me tell you, we have no choice. In fact, digital transformation is the present thing, and if you have to be in business, you have to immediately get into digital transformation. And if you don't get into digital transformation, everything is going to come to a stop still. And when you say about digital transformation and its impact on the community, let me tell you, we are a live case example on how we went from offline to online. And this digital transformation was a boon. The first thing that we did was we looked at all these problem points that we spoke to you about, and looked at each problem points, and we found that the solution to these problem points were different with different tools that could be used. So the first thing, we looked at the student community, and we realized that the training programs and their career cannot stop at this level. So what we started was, we started an ISBR Digital Academy. And in this Digital Academy, the complete professor groups were asked to launch their programs at prices which are community based. So learning hour was given to the students at merely 300 rupees. Right. Then, so the programs were given to the students right from 100 to about 800 rupees. And we could see that thousands of them came on board. Local membership body joined hands with us to see that these programs were launched even for their members personally. So I saw that during this time, people also collaborated together. And just yesterday, we did a program for one of the trade organizations. And this program really spoke about how to get back to business and the tools and techniques, online tools and techniques that are used to get back to business. What are the different ways they can get into the new identity of business altogether? And we were astonished to have a 600 members registration for this program. Mm-hmm. And it was a whooping response. And then we realized that, yes, if we could have gone digital well before, things would have been real amazing. So COVID has taught great new lessons and brought into digital platform. The next interesting thing that we have seen when we are going digital is the whole process got simplified and enhanced the experience that the members could get. In fact, our customer care support, which was in fact extremely difficult, became one of the most easiest parts of the service we were giving because of the digital experience that we could get.
Yeah.
Communication was A+, and it eased out the complete system. But I'll tell you a few of the exclusive things that we did. One, we shared regular updates about their industries to respective groups.
Yeah.
ASSOCHAM and CII helped us to get these regular updates about industry. We shared industry-specific reports and data to them so that they can take good decisions about it.
Yeah.
We kept the members positively engaged through one of your tools, in fact, the Event Bank tool, wherein members within the groups could communicate. And we just had to foster those things possible, and then communication automatically happened. We simplified and enhanced our events for them. This made, again, things easy. Our number of online events grew from mere 10% to about 90%. And that was a great shift. I told you about our ISBR Digital Academy and how that worked, and how we in partnership created a case study for others to follow. We created an online platform wherein the job seekers and the companies come together. And this was tested for 1 month, and about 15 days ago, we launched it. And believe me, the results are amazing. At one level, we thought there are no jobs, but when this platform was open to our members and the students together, the amount of jobs that are opened up are very different, and different sectors altogether, different spaces in these sectors. So yes, I think, as you have said, if you wish to be a live community, if you wish to see that you engage your members, if you wish to add value to your business and the lives of the members, going digital is the only solution, and the quicker you are, the stronger you will be.
Absolutely. And I see we're almost running out of time. I just want to put one more question out there. Chandrakant, in terms of, I mean, how do you measure success in an online engagement right now?
See, this is the rather success for Indian SMEs and Indian businesses now for coming on the digital dialogue or digital platform. Because without digital platform, we cannot now, run some businesses or introduction. We cannot have a discussion, presentations, branding, promotion. And this is a platform now. The person from any point, any place from India can connect, can communicate, and to introduce whatever the product, services, or they are expecting some businesses. I think I'm surprised about that. My chamber has organized more than at least 50 webinars in last 2 months. Okay, SMEs are not adopted this concept earlier. They prefer to meet someone, personally, one-to-one. Rather, this is very interesting thing, Mr. Rajesh Agrawalji. You can think about it, because the SMEs are mainly dependent on the big exhibitions where they are getting knowledge, information, product ideas, product information about the product quality, product innovation, and many things. So the SMEs are now lacking this information, but we are bringing all this information now the digital, and we are connecting with an SME business forum, SME business meet, SME digital platform. So we can encourage SMEs to come on the platform, use digital. Rather, your event bank is doing a lot of activities. They can utilize the support services with the event bank. All the organizations are keen. Rather, ITPO is very much keen, and they are doing special work for the SME sector. I'm connected to the ITPO for the last 25, 30 years. I know, and they are doing they are promoting SMEs. So I request all the SMEs to take advantage whatever the government is providing, what is the level playing field is available for you, the facilities, new schemes, incentives. And the government is giving a lot of support now. So take all the advantage and to improve your quality, improve your productivity, and improve your competitiveness. Then only you will be successful in this competitive era.
Thank you. So it would appear that going digital is the only solution right now, and for the foreseeable future, it would appear. Absolutely. Priya, your thoughts? Any closing thoughts? You're on mute.
Sorry. I think I agree with you. I think at least for the next foreseeable future, even if, though I just read 2 minutes back that, we would have a solution maybe by fall, etc., about the pandemic. But I think digital is here to stay. Even if offline starts off, I don't think people will just give up the digital medium immediately. And I think to evaluate is your conversions from that digital medium as to, whether you're getting more members, and the engagement, which means how many people are coming. Because with the plethora of webinars everyone's doing, how many are coming in it? What are the key questions asked? What is the follow-up happening? Because that is important. Because keeping people engaged online is a very difficult task compared to offline. So one needs to actually learn that. And that is where I see most of us needing to adapt as to how long, how many things do we do. Offline, we are all become experts at it. We've all done so many events, we know exactly what to do. Online thing, how to keep people engaged, how to keep them continuously coming back is the challenge that we will face. But yes, business will be online going forward. I'm not saying completely online, but it would remain a great percentage of it, even if we change our offline, would remain online, at least I feel.
Thank you, Priya. Rajesh, any closing thoughts? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yeah. I'll agree with Priya to the extent that this digital thing is going to stay for times to come. It is not something that is going to go away. It is something which is going to remain in our society. I think we have made inroads in this digital transformation, but there is a long way to go, to my mind. One, still a large part of this world, large part of this country are completely devoid of any digital transformation because of access issues, because of access in terms of physical infrastructure, or maybe financial access also. So that is one thing that we need to work upon as a nation, as a country, and see that the entire country benefits out of this digital transformation. Two, I think we also need to also evolve our technology in a manner, and we need to be aware of the fact that today the working age or the life expectancy of people are rising. The life expectancy of people in India is now around 75, 80 years. So whatever our census says 70 odd years, but it's around 80 years is a life that people look at. In such a scenario, you have got a working age population which combines of 3 to 4 generations. So are we developing technologies in a manner where everybody can adapt to it in a seamless manner? Maybe we may find it easy to adapt to technology because we have been brought up in those generations. But 20 years ahead, people who have come and who still are very live and working and speaking, how do we also bring them as a part of this digital transformation is also a huge challenge. And I think we need to address it. Because this transformation is for good. This has helped globe become flat. This has helped globe become one village. This has helped us all to come together. But I think we have to ensure this also does not become a rich or poor problem. This also does not create an apartheid in the society, and we bring in all together. That's the real challenge, I think, as a policy maker in the government, I feel that remains with us, and we need to address it and move it in that direction. A lot of work has happened over last decade. If I see the inroads that has been made in India is tremendous. But I think this has to go on and go on till we reach the last household, and everybody is well connected, and everybody is not only connected, but is able to use it to their benefit as it should. So that is something that we need to look at. This is something we cannot wish it away. This has been the innovation of this century, and we need to carry it forward. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you, Rajesh. So that's all we've got time for today. I'd like to thank again all our esteemed panelists for imparting their knowledge and for taking the time to join the webinar, and also to everybody that tuned in. If you'd like further information or have any questions on Eventbank's all-in-one solutions, you can email us at sales@eventbank.com. That's sales@eventbank.com. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day, everyone.
Thank you. All the best. Thanks for inviting. All the best to you.
Thanks to all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.